months. Now, it's been more than a year since a fire ravaged Parliament in Cape Town, but the trial of the man arrested in connection with that fire has not yet started. Zandile Mafe was arrested in January 2022 and has made several court appearances. He was also sent to a psychiatric institution for a short period and was later released. The state says it's ready for Mafe's lawyers, but his lawyers rather want to apply for him to be evaluated to see if he's fit to stand trial. We're now joined by reporter Ayesha Ismail with the very latest. Good morning, Ayesha. So the trial is expected to start, but are you getting indications that indeed it will officially be the start, or there's some back and forth with Mr. Mafe's lawyers?
Well, we're still busy with the pre-trial hearing, but what has happened is that Zandile Mafe once again has not made an appearance in court. We heard from the state and from his lawyers that he is refusing to leave his cell at Pollsmoor Prison. But I'm now joined by his lawyer, Lovuyo Godla. Mr. Godla, once again, your client is refusing to come to court. Why is this so?
I received information this morning from prison authorities saying that he did not respond when he was called to the reception for him to be transported to court. I do not know the details. I must be in contact first with Pollsmoor Prison. Then I will be able to say, is he really refusing, or what could be the reason? But for now we will say maybe he is refusing because he was supposed to come, not unless he is not well.
Now, you indicated to the court that you consulted with him earlier this week. Was he aware that he was meant to be in court today?
Yes, we consulted with him. I think our last consultation was on Tuesday. I consulted with him. We had a consultation, quite a very long consultation. And he never indicated that he is not going to come to court. Otherwise, when I left him, we were on the very same understanding that he will be coming to court today.
Now, there were talks about him having another psychiatric evaluation. We heard this intention from the state, and we're now hearing that you may even also bring an application for him to be referred.
Yeah, remember initially what we said. Ordinarily, even though the provisions of the Act, they allow anybody to make that request. But it's always something out of ordinary for the state to invoke provisions of that section. Hence we said we be allowed sufficient time. As you will recall as well, that when that determination was made by magistrate court, we approached this court and it was set aside on the grounds we already know. Now we said we be allowed, we will consider if it will be indeed necessary to do so. And indeed, after having several consultations with Mr. Mafe, including the recent one of Tuesday, we came to the conclusion that, look, it will be better and it will be desirable and appropriate to refer him for assessment. Hence today we come and say we requested that he be referred. We discussed that with him as well. I discussed with him. He understands it. He accepted it. But however, I don't know why he is not here today.
But the judge did say that he would prefer Mr. Mafe to be present in court when that matter is discussed, because this is an issue that infringes on his constitutional rights.
Indeed, it is like that. In as much as we have agreed that he be referred, I would as well of that very same view as the court said today, that more especially if it's something that has got to do with his constitutional right, he be present. But however, you will recall as well, the court said only if after this short postponement he does not come to court, then we will consider some other alternatives.
What are those alternatives? Having the pre-trial at Pollsmoor Prison?
One of the alternatives, you heard the court saying we do have that facility in Baltimore, in our prisons, where you don't need to take inmates to court, because remember, it's an unnecessary expense as well to the state. If at all it can be done at a very cheaper cost. We will consider maybe going to Baltimore, where he does not need to be transported to court, then it be done in Baltimore. You will understand that in Baltimore they have that facility. We can go as legal representatives, more especially if this matter, as we can all agree, it's one of exceptional matters, because courts are very reluctant in similar circumstances to proceed and conduct proceedings and make orders that will directly impact to constitutional right of a person, more especially if the person is not before court.
You still maintain your client's innocence?
I still maintain I cannot disclose anything further than that, in as much as I am in possession of further particulars. But what I can say, if it was not a question of that now we are confronted with this, surely many people would be surprised. I still maintain the innocence of my client, that my client was incapable of committing that particular crime. I still confirm that. I've been in practice for many years, for some couple of decades now. And I know there are things which you cannot say about a client. You always accept what your client says and wait for a different version and evidence when it is led. But here, I am of the view, and I still maintain and accept what my client is telling me, that indeed Mr. Mafe, the one we are dealing with today, is incapable of committing that particular crime.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. And that was Novuyo Godla, the legal representative for Zandile Mafe, the man arrested in connection with setting Parliament alight just over a year ago.